What's up, y'all, and welcome to episode 262 of the Chumpcast. Happy Sunday morning, and welcome back, football. More importantly, though, is this episode when we'll be talking about James Wan's bonkers-ass movie, Malignant, but more on that later. You can always follow us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can call or text us at 847-920-6107. Twitch and YouTube channels, obviously, you know where we're at because you're here. D&D's back this Tuesday night. We're getting very close. We've got maybe 2 sessions left. We just leveled to level 15, which means I get some cool shit, maybe a feed or 2. And Mark, what's coming on the YouTube front?
How many statues do you have?
How many have you bought, though? Because, like, you buy some and then resell them. And so 6 is how many you've kept right now. Mm-hmm.
Those were dope.
So the average price for one of those is like $1,000, though, right? I like how light up features would just like push that up over the $1,200-$1,500 mark because somebody stuck a 30-cent LED in it.
Damn.
I mean, cool, but yawn. Brick, was that a beer I saw you drinking?
Fucking absolutely. It's
God damn it, I love you.
8:35 right now.
It's 9:51.
Well, I'm an hour behind you.
Well, you're not an hour and 16 minutes behind us.
I am with the beer, and I'm already high too, so I'm 16 minutes behind anyway.
All right, I take it you're ready for football.
Definitely didn't. Yep.
And I was thinking about it this morning, how disgusting hosting is for football. You're literally having friends over all day to not move from the same place on your couch, eat chips, eat fucking garbage wings, pizza, and just fart all day on your furniture.
Literally all day, just literally basking in farts and football and
it's
wings.
Disgusting if you think about it.
But it's low-key the best of all time because you're just sitting there. You've drafted your teams. You're finally seeing some of these come to fruition or not. Who knows? And it's just betting, gambling, football all day, drinking. We got Bloody Marys on deck over here. Got to get the good sausage. Got to get the cheese, celery, the mix. I'm pumped all day. Anyone got bets going on or any good teasers?
I've already lost my teaser that I had in place because the Bucks couldn't cover 2.5. The game was infuriating, but also I was so pumped to watch it, and I didn't even care by the time it was over because it was a great game.
Fantastic game. Nothing worse than your team playing on opening night, and you're playing Amari Cooper, and I think he was playing Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, and Gronk.
Do not care about your fantasy football team. However,
but like going like being hyped and seeing the season opener and the other person goes for like 90 points
and you just get shit on.
Does like nothing worse than that.
We did throw together a last-minute guillotine league. I don't know if everybody's familiar, but basically the lowest score every week, your team gets chopped, and you're out of the league, and everybody on your team goes to the waiver wire, and it's just a fucking frenzy to get your best players. So all you have to do is survive the next week.
And then it's free agent bucks save you. I was lucky because I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do 0 RB on this one. And I drafted my second best running back.
I'm gonna stop you there. Nobody cares about your fantasy team. I just thought it was a cool like. So we got a bunch of people together in the Discord, and there's 16, 17 teams. I don't know. But it'll be a good shit talking opportunity. Maybe we'll keep you updated with who gets chopped each week. But as far as I expected 13 points out of Zeke, but I only got 12.5. I don't care.
No, I just got lucky because Tyson Williams just got bumped up to a actual running back.
Yeah, fuck me, dude. How stupid is Harbaugh? He's just hurting all of his best players.
More for Lamar to take over. He's going to win MVP this year just because he's got nobody else around him. And
his team's going to fucking stink. His team's going to stink because everybody's hurt.
But that's why you'd win MVP, because if you keep him in there because you have no supporting cast, that's when they usually kind of crown you.
People underestimate how good Marcus Peters is, man.
I'm hearing...
Yeah, that corner.
I'm hearing an echo from you, Smithers, on the stream. Just so you know.
Okay.
It's pretty bad.
Work on that. What else is going on? Brick, you made it sound like you have some bets you want to throw out there. Obviously, this is only good for those who are watching live, but make it quick if you don't mind.
Yeah, I just had some weird gut feelings. For example, I think 2 player bets that I have going on right now. Pat Freiermuth to anytime touchdown today.
Who the fuck is that?
He is the tight end that they drafted in the second round for the Steelers. He had 2 touchdowns in the one game that he played with Big Ben. And I think Buffalo, they're going to be down. So they're going to have to be passing. The Buffalo actually has a good secondary too, so they're going to have those wide receivers covered. I think it's just right for a quick little Freiermuth touchdown. He's a red zone threat.
So you're more in the player prop world now.
Yes. The other one that I had was Terrence Marshall Jr. over 3.5 catches is plus 113.
And
so
Curtis Samuel's out, right?
Well, Curtis Samuel's on Washington now. So Terrence Marshall is the slot guy for Carolina.
Yeah, isn't one of their receivers is out?
No, they have DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. So
okay.
I think that the only thing I'm saying is Darnold is playing a revenge game against the Jets. They literally traded him for a bag of balls. From there, Darnold always hyper targeted the slot receiver too, which Terrence Marshall's playing pretty much exclusively slot. Think about how many times Jamison Crowder just got like dumped the ball off and passed over. Revenge game for Darnold, slot for Marshall. 3.5 is nothing.
I didn't eat breakfast, so tell me more about the food you guys are making today. I'll kick this off. I smoked some chicken thighs yesterday, so my wife wants to make. She makes her own stock out of like veggies and chicken bones, and in this case, smoked chicken skin and stuff. And she uses it like I'm going to use this in some chili that I'm going to probably smoke some brisket for, and just like double the smoke. If I could pour smoke into my food, I would do it. But it's delicious. I feel
like chili is more of an October and later football meal.
I mean, we're getting there. We had a couple days this week in Chicago that were like low 70s, and I know it's not fall. Boy, I had my air conditioner quit working yesterday. Man, I swear to God, if something else in this house breaks, I'm gonna burn this fucker to the ground, and it'll be the worst case of insurance fraud of all time because I'm sitting here saying it right now. But I am so fucking tired of fixing things in this goddamn house. Stuff that isn't even 3 years old.
It's those Samsung appliances.
This was
fucking appliances.
Air conditioner, so not. I mean,
fuck Samsung though.
It's gonna be your fridge, like right when noon kickoff starts, and you'll be like,
no, it'll be like I will
fix this now. Fuck.
I will fill my fridge like a Saturday night with beer and awesome food for a Sunday, and my fridge will just go out, and everything will be ruined, and my whole weekend will be fucked.
Yeah, no, that's full nightmare. Let's go positive vibes for the day. We're all gonna win. We're all gonna advance in the Guillotine League.
Okay, positive vibes. I fixed it, and I didn't have to call anybody, and it was just a 30-cent fuse change. It just took me about 4 hours to figure that out. So
Okay, that's worth it. I think 30 cents for 4 hours, absolutely good
Okay.
deal.
All right, Mark. What about you? What are you eating today?
I don't know. Possibly pizza. We have some great deep dish places around me, Pequod's and Bert's. So one of those. Do some deep dish pizza. We don't really have
Dallas.
that good of wings. There's this good Korean spot that has wings that like
I
deep
like
fry them and
Wingstop.
put these. Wingstop's good. I don't think we have one of those close to us.
We had
I don't know.
Buffalo Joe's cater our draft, and Buffalo Joe's was absolutely fire. They're fantastic.
Yeah,
Shout
Buffalo
out
Joe's.
to-
You have to.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you have to call Buffalo Joe's like 4 days before for Sundays for football. Everyone
yeah.
gets platters at Buffalo Joe's.
Shout out to Krisky for not inviting me, aka fuck you. I made some. So I smoked the chicken and like pulled it, and I made full like buffalo just mixed together, and you put it in there, and I chopped up some carrots and some celery and a little bit of white onion, and you kind of just like sprinkle it on with some blue cheese, and you make a taco out of it. It's fucking incredible.
Ooh, smoked chicken tacos.
Smoked
Fantastic.
buffalo chicken tacos.
Oh, that's the buffalo chicken really does give it that football flair that it needed.
Mark, as a connoisseur of Costco, they have these 2-packs of whatever the buffalo sauce is, but it's like Primal Kitchen stuff. And I'm not like keto or whatever, but this shit is incredible, and it's low cal, and it's...
Is it Kirkland brand?
No, it's the actual brand is like Primal Kitchen or something. But
It's just buffalo sauce.
pretty much, but
right.
it's made with avocado oil, and instead of like all the sugar and bullshit,
Yeah,
it's more oil based. So it's really, really good. It's like the right thickness. It's got the buffalo spice on the front, but it's not like you'll be crying for milk afterwards. It's perfect where you can eat so much of it that you will just want to kill yourself. So
kill yourself
Sounds
afterwards.
delightful.
Nice.
Yeah, sounds delightful.
That was so good. I died.
boop. I sent you guys some trailers, gentlemen. We got a long list this week, and let's kick this off with Ron's Gone Wrong, which I find myself gravitating more and more towards these animated comedies, even though they are aimed at children, because I feel as though they're using more adult actors and throwing in the joke that a kid won't get but still keeps the parents included. I'm thinking, Mitchell's versus the Machines or something like
Mitchell's
this.
versus the Machines.
In this
yeah,
case,
they had.
Go ahead.
Go on. No, I was gonna say I couldn't think of the guy's name. Danny McBride. Actually, there we go.
Yep.
Like he's an adult actor, comedian that like is playing the dad, so he can deliver those roles. And I think Zach Galifianakis is in this one too, right? So
the premise here is all kids have this little robot that follows you around and like is supposed to make you friends and shit. It's kind of creepy, but
A B-bot.
yeah. So this guy gets one who has bad coding, and it's kind of murderous and played by Zach Galifianakis. I mean, what else could you possibly want?
It's not kind of murderous. It's
pretty
it was like
murderous.
chucking knives at people. It's
Pretty murderous.
Def-
Yeah.
definitely wants to murder people.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, he just has no clue what's going on, which is like perfect in a society where they have all these little weird, pet bots that are basically your social media kind of guide friend.
So where do you guys
But
land
it
on
was
this?
fun.
Excited or no?
Like the trailer had some good little jokes that I could get behind. Like I think I am just riding the high of Mitchell and the Machines. Mitchell's versus the Machines. I think that was actually good, and I'm gonna just assume that this one's gonna be just as good.
I mean, we've
Or
had some good
Not
animated
maybe not
movies
just
this
as good,
year.
but yeah.
We had Raya.
So yeah, I'm here for it.
Okay. We got our first look at, well, Sony had their big exposition this week, talking about stuff that they'll be releasing, and we got a new look at Spider-Men's. It is Miles Morales and Peter Parker in New York. This looks pretty dope. You get a voiceover in there who is very clearly Kraven the Hunter, but
yeah,
who is Kraven the Hunter going after? Did he get the symbiote? Is he fighting the symbiote? I'm very confused by this, but it was clearly Kraven narrating.
Yeah, so I think this game is going to. It would be awesome if they incorporated multiplayer somehow.
I think they're
because
talking about that. Isn't it multiplayer online? Co-op?
I have no idea because the movement that they have for that game is so crisp and clean and so much fun. The fact that they can, I think you're going to start out by Venom's going to be the first villain, and then you're going to have to team up with Venom and kill Kraven the Hunter at the very end. Because I think that's kind of what happens in a lot of Venom stories anyway, right?
Mm-hmm. And Insomniac is brilliant at making games, so I don't care whatever they do, I'll buy and play. Which leads me to my next point. Apparently, they're doing Wolverine too. I don't know how the fuck they would get the rights for that because this is Sony, and I don't know. Money, I guess, is the answer. What do you want to see out of a Wolverine game?
I want to see the same. I don't know if I want to this. I want to do like similar combat to Spider-Man because it's just so fluid and clean, but with like Wolverine moves. But also,
No
I want to
swinging
see
around,
it different. I know. I want to see it differentiate itself, in a different way. Does like Wolverine have sick movement of somehow? Like,
yeah,
like
he's small and he's quick as fuck.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. He's not like in terms of traversing. I mean, I'm sure it won't be as open world as Spider-Man is, where you're swinging across New York, or like you have to get to the other side of Manhattan. You know, it'll probably be more contained.
You think it's be like a linear story rather than open world?
No, I bet they'll still go open world, but it does remind me of the X-Men Origins Wolverine game from 2009. The movie sucked. The game is incredible. It came out on Xbox 360. I played the shit out of this game. And obviously this will be more advanced, but this was like M for mature. You just go out and murder, and you're just Wolverine, just murdering. It's great.
Yeah,
I want to see him as Logan. You know, I don't think we're ready for the whole X-Men costume Wolverine yet. I want this to be like when all these organizations are chasing him and try to capture him or whatever, take him down.
Weaponized.
Maybe he's in Canada. Isn't that where he lived most of his life? Maybe it's just him in Canada going bar to bar and just fucking people up. I would love that. Just in his fucking wife
Canada.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I like that. Like you can get like mountainous, and you can go like you can do a very open world-esque, because they did that in like Far Cry style of stuff.
It's not just that. Like you can have him, you can transport him to Japan. He has a huge storyline of basically being a weeb. He falls in love with so many Asian women and stays in Japan for a while and goes through his whole samurai phase. So he's definitely, if Wolverine was a real person and didn't have powers, he would be the guy who buys katanas at the mall.
Okay, so where would you rather have this game start? In Japan during World War II, or in Canada at an underground fighting facility where he just like beats ass for a while?
The underground fighting facility sounds pretty badass, where you're just like hand to hand. That's where they train you and teach you like the controls and shit. This game writes itself. Wolverine has so much backstory, and whatever happens, it'll be good.
Is there a specific comic book run you want this game to go with? Is that too deep of a question without research?
No. You know what? I like some of the newer Wolverine and the X-Men stuff where he was the headmaster at Xavier's school for the gifted. I like that a lot. Okay. I maybe it'd be something cool like that where you have to like keep the kids out of trouble, and maybe it's set at the mansion. And you go on missions. I guess that's more like what Mark was talking about, where it's more X-Men, but still, I think that'd be cool.
Okay. I feel like from the game teaser that they kind of dropped, it's going to be just Logan on his own original style, but
he's got a rogues gallery to pull from, though. Maybe he could fight like the Hulk or some shit. He's fought everybody at some point.
But so doesn't Sony need to have some sort of? I wonder how much licensing they get with. They got Wolverine.
All right.
Yeah.
Mark,
well, hold on, real quick. I want to mention something about Spider-Man 2 that I think is important. A lot of people are extremely happy because Tony Todd is going to be voicing Venom. Tony Todd is the original Candyman, Brick.
Yeah, he was in the most recent one too. He's got a great voice.
He's got a perfect voice for Venom. And on your multiplayer question, I think it's absolutely going to be multiplayer. We see it in the trailer that when they both use their webs to like fucking body slam that guy, I'm like, yeah, there's definitely going to be that multi like special action moves that you can do in this game.
With the free flow combat that they have, if you can do some sort of like you're both free flowing combat and you guys can make those combo specials, like time it out, would be fucking insane.
Yeah.
You'd have some sick nasty combos.
I want some verses too, though. Like not all co-op.
But they had those like time trials. They had like the time trials. They had like a lot of.
I want like.
Yeah, but like to defeat a certain amount of enemies, right? And you can maybe that's possible. Maybe they have like your guys versus their guys. You like kill a lot of their goons, but you also have like badass spider powers.
Yeah,
I'm in for that.
Anyways, this is probably going to be the reason I end up getting a PS5, which whatever.
Fuck. Is it? It's exclusive.
It's Sony exclusive for sure. They are putting out PS4. I did see that, but why bother?
Why bother exactly?
Mark, this is your realm. This Injustice animated DC film.
Mm-hmm.
Big thoughts on this? Basically, the Joker kills Lois Lane. This is based on the popular video games, and it sends Superman off his rocker, and he just becomes the big bad, which was Batman's concern the entire time. So I'm sure you're happy about this.
Yeah, I do like this storyline. Most notable for the video games, but they also have now. There's I think there's a couple omnibuses, a comic book collection that they did for Injustice as well, which was really popular too. Very cool version of Superman we get in this series, especially in the video games. That's one of the coolest portrayals of Superman I can think of.
I think it's just the coolest portrayal of him.
Yeah,
because it's the only one where he's not a huge boner.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm all for this. You have big characters. Joker obviously is the primary antagonist here. I think it's they're gonna knock it out of the park like they always do. DC animated films are never that bad.
Don't fuck around, man.
Mm-hmm.
This looks good. Doesn't look as good as Don't Look Up from Adam McKay. I know that I'm supposed to be really excited about The Matrix and its new trailer. This is by far the best trailer of the week. You got Leo. You got Jennifer Lawrence.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah, it's Jonah Hill and Meryl Streep. This is an insane cast. I love Adam McKay. The Big Short is one of my favorite movies of all time. And he just has a way about him. So the premise of this is he kind of went off for a while and did kind of retellings, exaggerated retellings like Big Short and the Dick Cheney one
Vice.
that he did. Vice, thank you. This is fiction. And so J-Law and Leo are scientists, and they know that a meteor is coming. And they go to talk to the president. The president's like, we have a world-ending event threat coming every week. We don't give a shit about you. But then the meteors actually come. So
I'm all here for this. Leo and Jonah Hill, give me that combination all day. I don't even care what they could just be sitting down talking to each other. I'm in.
Every time I see them on screen, it reminds me of that time that Jonah Hill was like walking down the street with a coffee.
And Leo comes up and tries to be just like paparazzi pictures.
And then they turn around and like give each other a big hug. That's so wholesome. I don't know why I love it.
I love that too. It's so good.
Mark, thoughts?
I'm very happy to see Leo playing a super anxious, low-level astronomer. It seems like in this, he's gonna kill it in that role. And we have to decide if we want to see this December 10th because it's getting a limited theatrical release, and based on where we live, I'm sure we can find it at a theater.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we're waiting till it comes out on Netflix, which it comes out Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's a killer.
So,
we'll probably.
Well, I think
we'll see.
I think we're gonna see it early because December 10th, the only other movie coming out is West Side Story. While that's a great Broadway show, my favorite Broadway show, I don't think I'd be willing to see that over this movie. I think I'd rather see that.
Yeah.
Leo and Jonah Hill and Adam McKay, absolutely. Meryl Streep, yeah, please.
That's a lot of Oscar power in one movie.
Oh yeah.
Who do you think?
Leo in a while, I feel.
Who do you think the voiceover is going to be, or like the weird cameo voiceover that they did with like Margot Robbie in The Big Short? Do you think they're going to do that in this movie with somebody?
I bet that's how they weasel Matthew McConaughey into this.
Yeah, that would be great.
that just makes
driving in a Lincoln, just doing the whole fucking voiceover with
talking real
glass of whiskey,
low and relaxed, like with his southern accent.
All
right. Even though Texas got whooped this week. All right, Brick, you brought this trailer to my attention. The Guilty, featuring Jake Gyllenhaal as a call center dispatcher, aka 911 responder. This is from director Antoine Fuqua, who did Training Day. He most recently did something that we liked. I'm going to look that up. But he gets a suspicious call from someone who is clearly in distress. It looks like they're in LA and there's forest fires. There's a whole lot going on here. But Brick, what did you pull from this trailer?
I just like Jake Gyllenhaal in that intense role where it's like going to be mysterious because you don't know, like you're only given a certain amount of information because you're taking it from a 911 dispatcher point of view. And I feel like they can use that to really add intensity and like make this really suspenseful at certain points in the movie. And I just like Jake Gyllenhaal in that main role. I think you're going to get a lot of Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie. Like 90% of it's going to be him.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a bottle episode where you're like in this call center. You know, like you'll cut outside, but I 100% agree with you. 90% of this is just going to be zoom in on Jake Gyllenhaal.
And you're like living this moment with him and how he's like taking it in, and it's just like the suspense that they have just already like kind of reached out to me during the trailer. So
another Netflix movie, dude. They're kind of killing it with their trailers this week.
Fuck yeah.
Also, I lied about
Leo and a Jake Gyllenhaal. Damn.
I lied about Antoine Fuqua. I thought that the last movie he did was something we liked. It was Infinite with Marky Mark, and it was terrible. But we'll forgive you because you've done a lot of cool movies like Training Day and The Equalizer and cool shit.
This is also getting a limited release on September 24th. It's coming to streaming October 1st.
Is this going to be Netflix's new thing? Fuck.
I don't know. What's coming out September 24th? This might be one that we're going to see in theaters again, too.
Yeah. Well, you look that up, and Brick, I will ask you for your high-level thoughts on The Matrix.
I feel like I just haven't seen The Matrix in so freaking long that I just love seeing Keanu Reeves in this role again. But I don't know. I just haven't seen it in so long. I don't know I don't know how I feel about this.
Hot take alert. They should have stopped The Matrix after the first one. And nobody actually likes the second and the third, in my opinion, because they're bad movies. They had some good ideas, cool choreography and shit like that, but the movies themselves are real bad. I'm very surprised to see them go for another one of these. They're probably playing on the whole nostalgia thing, because The Matrix, when it came out, was mind-blowing. I mean, like nothing we'd ever seen. And they're kind of riding that wave, and I don't think that this is going to be very good, unfortunately.
At least Keanu Reeves kept the long hair, the John Wick hair.
No beard,
and that's
though.
all I'm going to be. That's true. I'm still going to be thinking of just John Wick, even though his personality is completely different than him being the Baba Yaga.
How about Yahya Abdul-Mateen as young Morpheus?
That's cool.
That's kind of weird.
I like it. He looks great in the fucking Morpheus glasses.
He does, and I could buy him as a young Lawrence Fishburne if I hadn't seen young Lawrence Fishburne in Pee-wee's Playhouse. But yeah, this is I don't know. It'll be a big blockbuster, and I'm sure we'll go see it. I just don't have really high hopes.
Sure, I'm with you.
All right, I got a few little bits of news. 2024, Marvel has added 4 slots for movies in February, May, July, and November. We don't know what they're going to be yet, but they'll come after 4 movies in 2022 and 5 in 2023. So over the next 3 years, that's 13 movies. That's ridiculous.
Good Lord.
That doesn't even count Spider-Man, which is still coming this year, the Eternals. We got a lot to look forward to in terms of Marvel, assuming they can keep the quality up. And based on Shang-Chi, I'd say it's pretty likely.
Definitely. And they had a year. They basically had a year of those movies get pushed so far back that they can just add another movie each year and kind of keep the pace of what they actually wanted, I feel.
100% agree. Speaking of Shang-Chi, it did over 90 million in its opening weekend. That's pretty damn good. I mean, we've been talking about the business side of things and how it's harder and harder to get a big box office, and the days of $1 billion box offices are probably gone. But
what were they expecting then?
60. So this did about 50% better.
I think they were up to 70 something last episode. Because I mentioned that. I think they were at like 70, and we recorded Sunday last episode.
So I mean,
that makes sense.
That's another indicator too, because a lot of that stuff will just come opening Thursday, Friday, and then it falls off. But if a movie this movie had crazy good word of mouth, and
I was just going to mention word of mouth,
present company included. I loved it. So
every person that I've talked to and brought this up to, the first thing they said is, "Yeah, I heard that was a good movie." Like everyone knows this is a
Literally.
fucking awesome movie. And I think it's only a matter of time before people see it. And I don't think they're gonna wait till it comes out on streaming, or at least it's free to stream. Because is Disney Plus offering this for $30? I don't think they are. Are they?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Okay.
No, they probably will in like 45 days. That was the other thing I noticed about this, is that I believe they're starting to do like 45-day runs and then pushing it to Disney Plus. I don't know how long they're going to lock in that strategy or whatever, but could be interesting.
Yeah. Hey, Brick, you asked this question before. The Many Saints of Newark is coming out September 23rd, 24th. So we're not going to see The Guilty early. We're definitely going to see The Many Saints of Newark.
We shouldn't do.
I believe.
Yeah.
No, I believe that's UK. The United States is October 1st. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Maybe it is.
We should probably do stuff like that when it comes to Netflix, anyways, because that's when most people are going to see it and want to.
That's true.
Talk about it. But
sure.
True.
I mean, what else did you say was coming that weekend?
That weekend, it was just, I thought it was The Many Saints of Newark and The Guilty, which was going to be the early release of the Netflix film.
I gotcha. I have a fancy new sound effect for you guys.
All right. Let's hear it.
Ooh-wee.
Nope.
What is that?
Draft.
Everybody knows that sound. Come on, Mark. Get your shit together. And it's apropos today, even though I kind of fucked it up and it played in the middle. Anyways.
Draft time.
Mark, do you want to get us?
I like it.
Autoplay. That was intense.
You forgot to trim the clip.
That was
you
intense.
definitely
No, it was
download the
YouTube
clip.
that cut to the next one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Mark, do you want to give us an update on how last week finished in terms of our draft voting?
You won. I'm not going to add it up. I know you had a good amount on Instagram. Yeah, Twitter, you kind of ran away with it. I think what did you have? Like over 60% of the votes?
Yeah.
Something like that, or 50? Okay. So yeah,
Shane,
you won.
Shane Falco killed me. I got a little cocky at the very end of that last draft.
See, the thing is, you can have a favorite, but you gotta play to the crowd. You gotta give the pander pick. You gotta get people on board that way. So how do we want to do this in terms of order? Is it because I pick the order?
You guys are not going to like this, but that's why I picked Dumbledore. You don't realize that. Like a lot of people like Dumbledore.
Then
I'm not saying he's
lose?
I'm not saying he's a great dude, but at the same time,
everybody
people
in the
are
comments was like,
I
no,
know
Dumbledore's a piece of shit.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
Literally, everybody in the comments was saying that.
I gotta redo our formatting because we have like our 1, 2, 3, 4 pick going down vertically. And people go across, so they're like, "Oh, I like number 1."
Row 4.
I'm like, that's not what we mean. Like, what person do you like? What person's picks do you like? So I gotta figure out a way to like really make that obvious. Let's see in the comments real quick on Instagram. I'm just trying to see who people liked, especially from your picks, Smithers. And it looks like Ira. Is that how you say it? I've never watched
Uncle Ira. Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Rogers. It was those two. I think you are the reasons why you ran away with it.
You took Daryl's vote because of the Flanders one, which I let that one pass. If you listen to the episode,
you let
it. Shane Falco because I thought I had that one wrapped up. It was just clear.
Did Flanders cheat on his wife? Am I thinking of something else?
No, his wife keeps dying.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's had 2 wives die now. But no, he's not cheating on them. He had one bad outburst, but he's still the most wholesome, and he's way more wholesome than Dumbledore ever could be. But
all right.
Anyway, so I'm going to pick the order because I won. Is that how we're doing this?
No, I thought we were just doing dice.
I don't want to.
I don't care.
That's bullshit again.
That's fine.
We'll go clockwise based on the screen, and I won, so I'll go first. Brick, you're second. Mark, you're third.
Okay.
1-1 for me in this case. It's got to be Abe Simpson. It's not going to be close, and I know I'm not surprising either of you guys. You probably didn't even have him on your list. I could probably do this whole draft exclusively with crazy old Simpsons characters.
Okay.
And I
bet you.
Well, no, because I want to win.
Okay, fine, coward.
All right, Brick.
I have no Simpsons characters, so hopefully you just keep naming Simpsons characters that nobody cares about. Go ahead, Smithers.
Yeah,
nobody.
Frank Reynolds. Ultimate old crazy guy literally just has he's just an insane person, period, point blank. Don't even need to explain it.
Okay. Mark?
I'm going to go for a different type of crazy, just an ignorant type of crazy. Mr. Magoo.
Do you like
specifically the cartoons?
Oh, I love the live action one. Leslie Nielsen.
The live action is good. Yeah, the live action is good, but I love the cartoons growing up. The cutest little cartoon guy, and he just like walk into traffic and fucking almost murder everyone. I love Mr. Magoo.
Okay, fair enough. You got another one, Mark?
All right, let's go. I'm gonna go Grandpa Phil from Hey Arnold.
On my list.
He's just a different type of crazy too with him, where there was like episodes where they're like, "You're never gonna die. Like you have a better lung capacity than any fucking kid that's 15 years old," and he's like super strong, super fit, and he's always up to some crazy shit.
I was pretty sure you were gonna pick Grandpa Joe.
Oh no, fuck Grandpa Joe. He's not crazy. He's not crazy. He's just a fucking piece of shit.
I'm up in your brain now. All right, Brick, what do you got?
Yeah. Is Grandpa Joe the guy from Willy Wonka?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just a lazy piece of shit.
I thought he would be on Mark's list too. Okay, mine. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Give me 1 second here.
We got to put a time limit on these two.
You didn't have a list?
Otherwise, you get jumped.
Come on. I was thinking about this for like the last 2 days.
I've been thinking about this for a week.
Frank Costanza. He literally invents his own holiday. Okay. He's just an insane person from New York. Old Frank Costanza.
Okay. I'm going to go with Doc Brown, Back to the Future. Crazy old character, literally invents time travel, sends Marty on a fucking crazy journey that spans 3 movies. Doc Brown, he's got the big crazy hair, the eccentric affectations, and the great Scott, like all-time character Doc Brown. Mm-hmm. And on my turnaround, I need a. I don't want to ask you guys for a ruling because obviously you're going to be dicks about it. So I'm just going to go with Yoda. Crazy old character, flips around and shit, speaks in riddles, small and green. Yeah, this is a pander pick because I know that the crowd is going to love Yoda.
I love Yoda. I'll give it to you, I guess.
But he's not really crazy. He just like
he's
lies.
Very crazy. Are you? As a non-Star Wars fan, you're not going to get this.
Does Yoda age very slowly?
He's, I believe, in his oldest in the movies, 950 years old.
Okay, so technically is Baby Yoda an old fucking crazy character?
They say that he's 50 years old, so I don't know if that counts. And
okay,
he's not really
it doesn't really count.
50's old. 50's old. How old is
he's kind of crazy?
Like 56 or some shit.
Costanza? No, he's like 70 in those. Yeah, Jerry Stiller?
Frank Costanza, yeah, has got to be upper 60s, 70s.
So that's my... Nope, I got one more. Brick, go ahead.
I got one more.
I'm going to go Frank Gallagher, a hopeless alcoholic and troublemaker. Just
I fucking hate him.
From the show. Yeah, but he's a crazy old person. That's for damn sure.
He's such a piece of shit.
Scheming. Yeah, he's a total fucking asshole.
Dude, are you just going all Franks?
I'm doing a Frank draft. Fucking Frank. Let's be Frank. Yeah, I am.
Okay. Technically, okay, yeah, I guess, yeah, he's mid-60s. You can call that old. He does have grandchildren, so yeah. Anyone that's a grandpa, I'll count it. I'm gonna go Blue from Old School. That's my boy Blue.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
That's a good one. Okay. Even though I mean, did he even have any lines? Or oh yeah, he just said, "Ring the bell, you pussy."
He just does whatever. Whatever they want him to do, he does it. He doesn't give a fuck.
Blue is an absolute wild card. Great pick, Mark.
Yep.
Great pick.
Yep. All right, Brick, last pick.
No, I think Mark has a turnaround.
Oh yeah, I got one more. All right. I got to throw a female into this. Grandma Rosie from Wedding Singer.
Okay.
Do you remember her?
No, not at all.
The Meatballs. The Meatballs. She sings. What is it? The hip hop. The hip.
Oh,
the hippie hip.
Yeah.
She's just like the life of the party. But considering like she always makes these meatballs for her grandson, and they're pretty fucking disgusting. And I mean, I just think she's
it's a very
pretty
niche
wacky
pick. I don't know if you're gonna get the the backing of the majority on that. But Brick,
We'll
give me
see.
your last one.
See, this one has me torn because
Better be named Frank.
I know I have to do it. It's Frank Barone from Everybody Loves Raymond, but honestly, Marie is the real crazy old person.
She's the ball breaker.
Exactly. She literally is such an insane over helicopter parent for like a 50-year-old. It's so good.
Who are you going with?
Frank and Marie Barone. Just
No, you only get
tandem.
one. It's Frank.
No, you get one.
It's got to be the Frank draft. You get
I'm
Frank
going to do
Barone.
Frank's.
Yeah.
I told
Okay,
you I
you
was
messed
doing
up
Franks,
there.
we're doing Franks.
Marie
No,
is
I'm
way
Frank.
more crazier. Her type A
I know.
personality. She's
I
insane.
know. She's
Yeah, but
insane. I know. But I'm sticking true to the Franks.
Since I have the last pick, I can just completely omit her. I don't have to because I'm going to pick Mama from Raising Hope, played by Cloris Leachman, the ultimate fucking psycho. And I knew that you guys don't love sitcoms, so you weren't going to pick her, and she was going to be a value pick. Mr. Irrelevant.
Okay.
Mama.
Nicely done.
All right. Give me your recap
Marie,
real quick.
Okay.
And then maybe we'll talk about some that missed the list. Mark, go ahead.
Mr. Magoo, Grandpa Phil, Blue from Old School, and Grandma Rosie from Wedding Singer.
There you go. Brick.
Frank Reynolds, Frank Costanza, Frank Gallagher, and Frank Barone.
There you go. The all Frank draft.
Going
And
all
mine.
Frank. So
the obvious,
stupid.
everybody knew I was going to pick Abe Simpson, but I also got Doc Brown, Yoda, and Mama. So I think I got a pretty strong team. Obviously, we mentioned Marie Barone she could have been 1-1. She is a psychopath.
I'm surprised nobody picked Rick Sanchez.
I almost went there with my Doc Brown because they did that live action thing recently where it was like him and a kid as Morty.
Yeah.
Wasn't it one of the kids from Stranger Things too?
Yes. I can't think of his name. He was
Will.
the one with the stutter.
Yeah.
No, he had the stutter.
Yeah. Who else missed your list?
Papa Clump I had. Just lighting fucking farts on fire.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, I could have gone all Simpsons characters. You got Crazy Cat Lady. You got Hans Mole Man. Edna Skinner. Yeah, I mean, you just
Crazy Cat Lady probably would have been a fucking. That's a perfect example of a.
I need that
crazy old
sound.
person.
I need that sound effect in our drop board, just like her screaming.
Yeah.
Brick, did anybody not get drafted that was on your list?
Well, I had Professor X from Logan because he is just fucking awesome when he plays that crazy person, old man role. He's just fantastic in that. So he was my pick. He was the actual inspiration for this draft. I was like, because I was watching Ben Kingsley in the Shang-Chi, whatever. And then I was like, damn, crazy old people are fucking great. You know, that
Fucking crazy. Professor
X was also fantastic because I was like, I was trying to connect other superhero movies, but then I got into Frank Costanza and Frank Reynolds. I thought you were to go Frank Reynolds 1-1, Danny DeVito, crazy old person, Always Sunny.
I should have, but I had to do Abe Simpson because I one of you guys.
Abe was both not on our list. I don't think it was on either of our list.
I had to do it because I know that you guys would do it just so that I couldn't pick it, and that he to me is like
he's
the archetype.
There you go.
So
cool. Happy it worked out.
Yeah, it did.
Here's some money. Go see a Star Wars.
Gentlemen, give me your recommendation for the week. Brick, do you have anything that isn't football?
I've finally rewatching Game of Thrones after it's been completed because
why?
Ashley's never seen it. So watching it with somebody,
you could save her from it.
No, it's glorious. And when you're rewatching it, there are so many other things that lead up that kind of hint at the ending that it was. I don't know. Do I want to spoil this? It's been spoiled before. Yeah.
That's not even an ending you could spoil because nothing fucking happens.
I know. Well, there's a lot leading to Daenerys being an actual psychopath that could easily turn and just burn down cities. Like people were butthurt about the character turn was so out of character. It's like, no, it wasn't. She literally pinned slavers 160 miles all the way up, like Jesus Christ, pinned all the way down through like cities just because she's a fucking psychopath. Just because they did it.
I
Yeah,
like
so
that.
the writing's on the wall.
Did that episode come out before or after you named your dog Khaleesi?
I named it was like the first season.
Okay.
I named Khaleesi.
So, you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to say that out loud. Mark, what do you got?
She's a saint now. When she gets older, she'll be fucking crazy probably.
I just watched Cruella and I really, really, really liked it.
Okay.
Emma Stone is great as Cruella. The story is awesome. Gives some good background, a nice origins around Cruella and how she came to be the way she is, and kind of what she went through early on in life. A great supporting cast as well. We have Joel Fry as Jasper, and then the guy from I, Tonya is awesome too. Paul Walter Hauser, I think.
I love that
as
guy.
Horace. Oh man, yeah, her henchman, perfect. Everything about that movie was the way it should be, and I could not recommend that movie enough. If you haven't watched it, it is completely free on Disney Plus now. It's been out long enough to where they're like, no, you don't got to pay for this anymore. So if you have Disney Plus, go check it out.
Is Cruella a good crazy old person for our draft? Obviously, she's not a good crazy old person. She's a puppy murderer, but
I think she's like, if someone's like low 60s, upper 50s, I was looking for somebody like old, like 70s or whatever, but I guess you can consider her an old
you
person.
treat me like I'm fucking 70 every week and I'm 35,
Yeah.
so you can go fuck yourself.
It's very true.
Would Beetlejuice have
35
counted?
pretty
Is
much.
Beetlejuice
It's pretty much
a good one?
35 and up is considered old.
Fair enough. I should have picked Beetlejuice. Michael Keaton. That would have been good.
How old was Michael Keaton when he did that movie, though?
It's not about
40?
how old the actor is. It's how old the character is.
How old is the character then?
He's like a zombie. He's so old that he's dead.
No, I think he just died.
Well, whatever.
early.
I didn't draft him anyways. Doesn't care.
Would Johnny Knoxville from Old Grandpa or Bad Grandpa be?
I would take that, yeah. Or anybody in just
Technically,
like
he's not
Uncle
old.
Drew, if you're
Uncle Drew would have been pretty sick. Yeah, I guess because it's all character anyway. You're portraying this character's
This
age.
is just my
okay,
opinion.
cool. I agree. I'm with that one for future reference if we do.
It's not a Frank though. He's not a Frank, so he could have
Yeah,
made your
you
list.
weren't gonna draft
Right.
Exactly. I wasn't going to. He wasn't
All right.
Frank, obviously.
Mark, are you familiar with Brian K. Vaughan? Of course you are.
Yes.
So
Saga.
you are familiar with Why the Last Man.
I've not read it, but I am familiar with it being a comic book.
I have also not read it, but I do know that the new show comes out Monday night on FX, which means that it'll be on Hulu on Tuesday. I'm kind of excited for this. I know that the story is weird and good, and people love it, and it got Brian K. Vaughan kind of famous. So
Is it like a reverse? Is it a reverse Children of Men kind of thing, where it's like the last guy, and are women after him because he's the last man that can reproduce?
Not all of them are after him, but
Okay.
yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, that's
Interesting
that's
concept.
what I'm going to recommend. Mark, what do you got?
I just recommended Cruella.
Oh yeah, sorry, duh.
Mhm.
Rick, did you give one?
Yep.
Game of Thrones, stupid.
Jesus,
Absolutely
I'm fucking out of
stupid.
it this week. My bad. I haven't eaten breakfast, so
So I'm saving it all.
Best. We the best. Worst.
The worst. She's the worst person in the world. Huge skank, terrible. But thank you.
Brick, I know what yours is, and I have it pulled up. So should we just go there?
Let's just go there.
Do it.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Let me start with staying that. There was just a rogue cat. No one really explained how a cat was able to get into this football game. But it was a college game. Not sure which game it was.
This
And there
was
was a cat just,
Miami and Appalachian State.
There was a cat just like dangling down like it's fucking Scar and Mufasa, but there's no Scar. It's just a cat just dangling down, like hanging out for its dear life. Couple of college kids, probably pretty much everyone in the section, I feel, was like, "Oh shit, we gotta save this cat!" And then they just like busted out an American flag and used it as like a safety net. I feel like they didn't really catch the cat, but they stopped the cat's momentum enough where it didn't die, and they lifted the cat up, and they were like, "The cat's alive!" So, do you have the video or no?
It's playing right now on the stream. You can see the cat dangling. So this is in Miami, and they did a pretty good job of breaking his fall. I'm pretty sure a cat would have survived that anyways because cats are nuts. But just the camaraderie here. Like, even if you're an App State fan, which there aren't any, and you went to Miami, which nobody did, like, that's something you all get together and rally behind, right?
It's a hype. That's absolute hype. You just get together to save a creature of the earth. Everybody's happy. That's awesome.
Brilliant video. Stormed through social media last night. That cat was dangling
hard.
So, yeah, that's a great Best Man Alive. Mark, you got one for me?
I just love Taco Bell. I had Taco Bell yesterday, and I guess they're encouraging people. People are saying refill. It doesn't really make sense. It's just recycling their sauce packets. So what they're doing now is they're asking all their customers to just keep the packets, put them in a jar or box or whatever, and you can go to this website, print out a free shipping label, and I think they reimburse you with, I guess, like a reward or something. But that has me thinking, is there some type of material they're using with the packets that's like harder to produce or manufacture?
So logistics right now are a fucking nightmare because shipping is so far behind on everything because of COVID. And I'm guessing that just drove their prices up in terms of having to manufacture sauce packets. But I'm not giving those sauce packets back. I keep those motherfuckers.
No, used ones.
Used. Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I completely misunderstood. Yeah, that has to be a supply issue.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I don't know. They're saying that, well, I'm sure it's true. They're saying 8 billion pounds of used sauce packets go into U.S. landfills every year.
That's good.
You think about how many sauce packets you do take, whether or not you use them or not, but usually they go into the garbage eventually, and the typical person takes a lot of packets from Taco Bell because they don't put any restriction on how many you can have typically.
Fair enough.
So I believe it. It's a good effort, to kind of up the recycling game.
Okay. Quick question. I'm sorry. I just got a tweet from Adam's Schefter saying that Trey Sermon and Zach Moss are both inactive today. So do I start Devin Singletary over Damian Harris? Just curious. What's your thought on that?
I would start
Zach Moss
Harris.
isn't. I think so would I still.
Zach Moss isn't good. Anyways, back to Best Man Alive. It's that time of year where we get our Ig Nobel Prize winners. So obviously everybody knows what the Nobel Prize is. However, there's a weirder side of science that a lot of people don't pay attention to because they probably shouldn't. But this is where we get the weird research studies and the weird papers published. And among the winners this year was a scientist. Boy, I'm going to absolutely botch these names, so I'm not even going to try. Yeah, whatever. Olke Sem Balut from University in Heidelberg, Germany. He says that his study concludes, without a shadow of a doubt, that nasal breathing improved significantly after sexual intercourse with climax. So, Brick, you told me you were feeling kind of stuffed up this morning. Just go pound one out. You'll be good to go.
Mm-hmm.
But
I heard I heard sex relieves headaches too, migraines.
Is that just the endorphin?
I think so.
Dump? I don't know how any of this works. There's a lot of really interesting stories in here, though. So they basically give one for every major category of science. Like there's ecology and human behavior and shit like that. One of them was they tested the air inside of movie theaters, which is relevant to us, I think, to see if the sense changed in the theater if there was violence on screen or sex on screen or antisocial behavior, drug use, whatever. They were trying to get a sense that they could relate to these things that people emit when they're experiencing this in a movie theater. And I think that's really interesting, even though it's useless and pointless. So there's a lot of cool shit like this. If you want to flip through this, Gizmodo had a good recap, and the Improbable Research, or improbable.com, is the one who kind of rounds all of these up. I love these weird research stories that never go anywhere. One of them was trying to see what kind of biomes grow on used chewing gum that you find on the street. And it sounds so stupid, but that's how you end up with something like penicillin. Because it's somewhere you never thought you'd get it, and all of a sudden you're curing diseases. So keep going, you weirdo scientists. We appreciate you.
Very cool.
Anything else before we move on to our review? Great.
I think we should just stall, because Brick is freaking out about who he should substitute on his team. So we should just keep going until the very last minute,
Brick doesn't realize that I can see in his eyes what he's doing. Like when he's on Twitter or if he's gaming, like I can tell based on his face what he's doing. And he's going through Twitter right now.
He's like, Krisky's not answering his phone. Twitter, nope. What do I do?
Yeah, he's going through Twitter.
Krisky's already on his way over.
All right, gentlemen, you know what that fart means. Boy, it is appropriate this week. I don't know what the fuck this movie was, but we saw Malignant. This is
most
the
glorious
latest
fucking horror movie ever.
Is the latest horror thriller from James Wan. It's interesting that he's back in like directing now, because for a long time he did all those Insidious movies and everything, but he was just producing them. So he was basically stamping his name on it, making sure logistically shit got done, but he wasn't actually in the directing. And this is kind of his big return. So we know he's working on the Aquaman sequel or spinoff or whatever the fuck it is. But anyways, this was a screenplay from Akilah Cooper, based on an original story by James Wan and a few of his friends. Annabelle Wallis is a woman who starts seeing murders. And as you go on, you slowly start to realize why. And the why is an insane, ridiculous story that doesn't make any fucking sense, but you get an all-time chair throw and some other things. This is currently at 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, 51% from fans, which gives me like a waft of farts, but I don't understand what part of this was fart sniffy.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I guess I do know what it was trying to go for, but I don't at the same time. I don't know. It was super like campy in terms of like the score. I don't know if it took me out of it because
the score was
like,
so weird.
Campy.
It was so weird.
Really campy.
I don't think I even noticed it.
But it just felt very basic in terms of like a horror, like someone threw a generic soundtrack into the back of a horror movie. But yeah, no, the thing ran pretty aggressively.
So I will say we're going to spoil this later.
It ran pretty aggressively.
Yeah. So did
I don't even know what to say about.
I mean, Judge, give me the running score then, out of 10.
Like at first, I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" But then, like, you realize later, like, if you're running backwards like that, and like, I guess it's pretty. I'm impressed.
We're not getting spoilers, not yet. Not yet.
I know. I guess you run backwards, and it's pretty impressive.
Let's talk about the cast for a minute that we got here.
Okay, let's. So we have the guy who voiced Genus in One Punch Man. Who voices?
Oh, really? Really?
Who voices the thing to which we have made reference? But go ahead, Mark.
There's really one cast member that I recognize, and that was Annabelle Wallis, and she plays Grace on Peaky Blinders. I don't think any of you guys have watched that, but if you're a Peaky Blinders fan like me, you know who Grace is. The beautiful Irish character that she plays. She's gorgeous. Her character, though, in this movie, pretty psycho. Other than that, yeah, we didn't really get too much of good supporting actors or actresses in this. It was all pretty bland throughout, and I think that's one of the problems I had with it. Some of the acting was like, oh, geez, yeah, you thought this was a like a parody at sometimes or satire.
No, we got to expound on that because the detectives in this are some of the dumbest fucking people I've ever seen.
Yeah. And there's like a weird like there's like they just like throw shit into like the character where it's like, wait, why'd you do that? Like there was that one the blood detective, the Dexter type girl that was always at the crime scene. She obviously had a crush on this guy, but I'm like, why do you even need to have that in this movie? It was just like they just wanted to add little things to the characters so they weren't so boring, but they still were the majority of them very boring characters.
But that's why I feel like it was just a generic shoehorned, cobbled together horror movie, you know, like with the bad score and the bad acting and like the bad writing. But like,
I don't know that anybody's arguing with you, to be honest.
Right. I don't know, but I hate it though.
I will say one thing I want to point out is there were some cool shots from a cinematography standpoint. I mean, they do a lot of like these overhead, like throughout the house, like following her, running up the stairs and going into different rooms. I thought that shit was cool. James Wan obviously has great, he does some great things with visual effects, We get a lot of that in this movie where you realize that this main character is, you know, seeing other people die, and she's kind of transporting to that scenario where he does a lot of cool visual shit where like the room changes and she's now in the person that's about to die, like their room. But yeah, I thought there were some good things about this. I did hate like Brick mentioned, I hated the score. I thought it just didn't fit with the movie. It's some points I was like, wait, is Halsey going to come in and start singing on this? Because there's like a rock, kind of like I had like an alternative rock vibe to it. I'm just like, I don't know. It was some weird choice of music. But it did have some of the score was, I guess, eerie and had you anticipating some jump scare or whatever.
I think I really only notice the score of a movie when it's really good, and otherwise I just don't pay attention at all. But James Wan was openly trolling us in this movie at every turn, every chance that he could. He would. How about the fact, and I won't spoil it, but there's a character who goes to like an old records office, and it looks like she's doing it about 1 a.m. And there's weird noises coming from everywhere, and he's very clearly setting you up for this person to get murdered, and they just never get murdered. He did so much of that shit. And also James Wan is the fucking king of like a character's looking into a room, they turn their head to flip the lights on, turn back, and whatever they saw is gone.
It's not there.
Just get a new shtick.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about this. They did so many things in this that just didn't make sense. Underground Seattle, I don't know why that was a thing that never really comes into play.
Well, I think it was a misdirect because they kept talking about the ghosts of, like the ghosts of the underground tunnels. They try and I think they bring that up early on because at first you're not sure if it's some sort of demon ghost or if it's an actual person. They kind of want to keep that mysterious. So there's like a bit of a misdirect there.
Hold on.
Right.
I had two of my favorite scenes where one was a sequence of scenes where the detective is chasing this murderer through the underground tunnels, or I guess it would be sewers because it rains a shit ton in Seattle. I'll just call it that. And they get into this area where like there's this fog, like this mist. They're definitely using like this fog machine. I'm like, this is such a cheap effect to use for a horror movie. Like this is something they would use in the 50s to like create ambiance with a horror scene.
It's something they were using in a $30 haunted house.
I was like, there would be no way that this fog would settle, on the ground like this.
They use dry ice to do that because that steam is heavier. It sits.
It's like if you brought me in, they're like, Mark, we need an effect. And just me knowing nothing, I'd be like, maybe like a fog machine. And they'd be like, great idea. Great fucking idea.
They had a $40 million budget and they ended up with a fucking fog machine in their basement.
Another thing I thought was fucking
Seattle, because it rained so much there. I feel like they had to set it in Seattle because it's literally a nonstop thunderstorm the entire freaking movie.
I don't think it rained once though.
I don't think they showed it rain at all. It was just dark all the time.
Yeah.
No, they had like thunder and lightning in the background that I noticed.
All right,
but either way,
let's do our recommendation for this and then we can spoil it. I will say there's an all-time chair yeet that I sent Mark a video of as I was watching. Like, I had to rewind and record it because I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? And it is an all-time scene. I think that we should make that into a GIF and we'll use it as our reaction for literally everything. This is the next meme. It's incredible.
The Bobby Knight of horror movies.
Bobby Knight could dream of having aim that precise from that distance.
A great chair throw.
This motherfucker is a chair sniper.
It didn't accomplish anything. It was just this fucking horror. I don't even creature.
It accomplished something because I laughed my dick off.
Yeah, it just hits these people, but they keep running away. So like, it did nothing. It did nothing.
I don't know what to say about this because it's so bad for the first two acts, and then the third act is so much worse that I think it does a full 180 into being an interesting movie.
Yeah, you're like, wow.
I think I have to say, see it with the caveat that you have to love shitty campy horror. I know so many people who I've watched really weird movies with. Mark, I was texting you and I said, this is Split all over again. I know so many people that would love this fucking movie if they give it a chance. You cannot turn it off halfway through. You have to watch the whole thing. You have to commit, and that's my caveats for making it a see it.
Mm-hmm.
Britt, go ahead.
I'll say save it. Because I don't think I enjoyed it as much as you did. That chair throw was pretty epic, I will say. Yeah, chair sniper is more accurate. But like overall, I couldn't tell if it was trying to be a spoof or if it was trying to be a real scary horror movie. It just didn't.
Still don't know.
Didn't differentiate itself. Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
All right, Mark.
I gotta fucking say, see it. And even the first 2 acts, though, James Wan does enough to where he keeps revealing things slowly, like throughout the whole movie, where you're like, okay, this is getting more interesting, or I want to know how this happened, or want to know this background on this character, Madison, who you find out is really not her actual, like, there's more to her. So I'm going to say see it. I don't think like the first 2 acts were that terrible. I wasn't like going to blow my brains out watching it, but yeah, it wasn't the last 15 minutes of this movie by far saved the whole fucking movie. It probably would have been a skip it or save it until those last 15-20 minutes, but I need to say see it after the reveal we get at the end.
We should have saved Crazy Old People Draft for next week and done worst movie monsters, because this definitely makes the list.
Let's do worst movie monsters next week.
We have October coming up. That could be a fall
point. Excellent
topic.
Point. All right. So at this point, I'm going to throw up this little spoiler warning up at the top there and throw it up on the stream. Spoilers for Malignant from here on out. I personally think that even if you have this spoiled for you, you could still watch it and it wouldn't really matter. But now we're going to spend some time talking about the ridiculous antagonist.
Can I give some background? Because I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of people that listen to this that are like, I want to know the spoilers. I'm not watching this movie. I don't give a fuck, but I want to know what happens.
By all means.
So we have this main character, Madison, who is Grace from Peaky Blinders, that the main actor. She, throughout the movie, is like having these visions and seeing people dying, and it's all because of her quote unquote imaginary friend Gabriel. And who the fuck is Gabriel? Throughout the movie find out. Yeah. What the fuck is a Gabriel? But anyways, we find out Gabriel might actually be a real fucking person. And throughout it, we see, okay, Gabriel is a real fucking thing, because the detective is seeing this character and chasing them throughout the Seattle streets. So Gabriel is actually a real thing, not just an imaginary character. Then we soon find out, well, not soon, at the very end, we find out that Madison is not Madison. She was actually adopted. Her real name is her real name is Emily. And we get this first scene in the movie where we get pulled into like a medical psychiatric ward or whatever, where they're taking care of crazy patients. And we see Gabriel, and they're like, we need to take out the cancer. So we know Gabriel was fucked up from an early age. But the big reveal is at the end. We find out that Madison, or Emily, has this hematode tumor fucking gross pussy thing on the back of her head, which is actually Gabriel. It's not a hematode. That's like a fucking, or a hematoma is like a blood thing. It's a teratoma, which is a tumor that consists of like eyes, muscles, bones, hair, teeth.
Tumors can grow teeth and hair. It's fucking disgusting.
It's essentially a parasitic twin. She has this fucking embryo twin thing on the back of her skull that comes out and controls her, literally controls her, like snaps her bones backwards, walks backwards.
Somehow makes her incredibly strong, like superhuman level strength.
Yes. So this thing that is attached, she's basically, what's his name from Harry Potter? When Voldemort's on the back of his dome.
Professor, fuck, I gotta look.
The guy with the turban thing. Yeah, whatever that guy is. Unreal reveal. She's fucking at the end in this jail cell, just fucking murdering people as this Gabriel parasitic thing on the back of her skull. It goes off the rails. And I was like, this is awesome. This is fucking amazing. I'll stop there. I'll stop there. It wasn't
off the rails trail ride all the way through.
Dude, so you missed the part where they mentioned that this cancer is what they keep referring to it as, is woken up because her husband or boyfriend or whatever just like beats the shit out of her all the time.
Yeah.
And that's awful. And it was just kind of like a weird way to introduce this evil character who's going to take vengeance because it's been feeding off of her unborn fetuses.
Yeah. I'm kind of pissed that I didn't realize this. Like, I was trying to figure it out throughout the movie. I'm like, why is she always, it made sense though. At the end, you're like, oh, that's why she was always like finding blood in the back of her head. Because yeah, her skull was smashed against this wall early on, but like she kept like throughout the whole movie having blood on the back of her head. So that was showing us like, oh, that's because Gabriel would come out and literally the back of her skull would open and we would see instances of Gabriel walking like fucking backwards, and it didn't make sense at the time, but it's a cool little twist, especially when we had Madison completely like unconscious when we get those scenes at the end where it's like she's just
dead faced. She looks like she's been drinking all day. Oh
my god, dude, this movie is fucking crazy. The John Wick of horror fucking creatures.
By the way, the professor I was thinking of, Professor Quirrell.
Yeah,
from Harry Potter. So the jail cell scene. Mark, I know you loved this because our character Gabriel takes over Maddie and just murders an entire cell full of like 30 women. And then the guards finally come and she just murders all of them. Like breaking their bones, snapping their necks. It's got some very good James Wan gore. Horror. Like at one point early in the movie they snap somebody's neck and his neck is like over here. Very fucked up stuff, which I know Mark loves. When they showed Gabriel like emerging from the back of her skull, I was like,
so gross.
This is gonna win an Oscar.
It's so gross.
I don't know what the fuck else to say about this movie other than, man, give Gabriel a gold fucking medal for that chair throw. That is the utmost accuracy. What a ridiculous fucking movie.
You know what I was like, oh my God, you fucked up right there. Is at the very end, I'm thinking like maybe you think of all the people that Madison technically murdered, you know, even though she was unconscious and her mind was being taken over by Gabriel, she still technically was that person murdering all these people. I'm like, how can she get out of this? And maybe if they were able to prove like there's a fine line between Gabriel's, you know, traits and Madison's. And I was like, oh, Gabriel's super strong, super fast. Madison can't do that. But then at the end, Madison's like, she's like, wait, I have the power of Gabriel. I'm like, no, you just fucked yourself. Because now you're saying like you potentially could have done anything that Gabriel was able to do.
Also, you now have to go become a superhero. Otherwise, like you're just wasting your talents. It was so, she said she looked directly into the camera and said something so ridiculous like, the power was in me all along. And I just died a little inside, but I still recommend that you watch this.
Yeah, her sister was under a hospital bed because Gabriel threw it and was trying to murder her whole family at the very end. And while her sister was about to die, she's like, wait, I can lift this. And I'm like, God, you might have just screwed yourself.
They also, several times, they send in people who are very ill-equipped to try to fight Gabriel, and Gabriel just immediately murders them. Like it was just fodder for this weird demon baby thing. I have nothing else. I'm going to shut up about this. I should be focusing on football right now. Fuck.
Steady, you have this fucking weird tumor, embryonic, gross fucking shit.
The more I think about it, the weirder it gets.
The better it gets.
I don't know. You guys got anything else on this before we wrap up?
Nope.
Like you said, Smithers, yeah, if you after hearing these spoilers, if you listeners, all the way through, I hope this just gives you a little bit of encouragement to go watch this because the ending is unlike anything you've probably ever seen in a movie. It's insane.
So I will pull off our spoiler warning there. Let's talk about next week a little bit. Prisoners of the Ghostland, starring Nick Cage. He openly said that this was his most batshit bonkers movie that he's ever made. And if Nick Cage is saying that, that's pretty out there. I'm excited for this. So he's in a jail cell, and the ruler of this like Asian country they're in, the ruler comes to him and says, "I need you to go save my daughter." And there's a bunch of other weird shit going on. I am very pumped for this, and this is definitely the year of Nicolas Cage.
This is going to be a murderous Nicolas Cage, right?
I have a feeling that he's going to be very bloodthirsty.
Oh yeah.
So
it better be, because last time Pig wasn't very bloodthirsty, even though it was glorious. It wasn't.
Excellent movie. Second best movie of the year.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up so y'all can go enjoy some football. I hope you win all of your bets, unless your name is Brick. Just kidding. I hope you win your bets.
I hope you win your bets. Everybody, good vibes all around. Wins.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been episode 262 of the Chumpcast. You can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can call or text us at 847-920-6107. And until next time, y'all.
Jumps out, motherfucker.
Ciao, bella. Mahalo.